Hi there, tech people. This is Adapters TechX at the Urban Living Festival, Canary Wharf, London. I'm here with William with Hococo, and this is a fascinating story about connecting dots. Now, tell me exactly who your constituents are. Who do you serve?
Well, we look at the whole stakeholder sort of setup. We look at owners, the operators, and ultimately, and most importantly, the residents.
So you also include the people that have heads in beds.
Heads and beds are correct. We believe that the value comes from bottom up. We believe that you have to create thriving communities, you have to collect the data, you have to understand the end users, the heads in the beds. If you have to, create value for them operating the buildings, basically, or owning the buildings.
Now, there's a few people in the tech stack or in the tech community that are offering platforms like Apaleo, Muse, and others. What edge do you have against what they do, or is there a difference, or do you like playing with them? Do you know them? What's your edge?
I think the main edge is we both focus on on the residents. We are very customer centric, but we look also at how can we, if we have to create value, we need to also look at what value do we create for them. Buying the product or serving the residents basically. So we try to look across the different stakeholders and try to create value on both sides of it, not isolated just pure tenant experience, but more like a holistic view on things. And secondly, I think it's also about trying to have that innovation arm, look at how can we look at the residents at a whole new view, trying to look at more the lifetime value instead of just again a resident moves into the bed and then goes out again.
So that's different, right? The lifetime value of the head in the bed, the person.
Correct.
And how do you bring that value statement back to the other two stakeholders of the owner and the owner of the building and the operator of the building? How do you make that relevant to them? What do you offer them?
I think it's all about trying to look at it in new ways. It's a very real estate is a very traditional industry, and I think it's about trying to figure out how can we change things. So none of the founding members of our teams is from real estate, so we come from the outside and in and trying to look at it in new ways. And I think your lifetime value is something that's typically common in things like e-commerce and other industries, and we try to bring that down and say how can we adapt that to a very traditional industry.
That's fantastic. So give us an example.
Well, an example could be you move into an apartment when you sort of, if you're a student, you have typically a few years there, you move out again, and then that resident is basically lost. Why not pick up the resident, offer a second alternative? There's loads of talks about build to rent. Why not move it on to the next phase of that customer journey as it is?
So I'm a resident. I'm about to move out. Is it the operator's responsibility to be communicating with me, or have you built in an algorithm, or there's an API connection that says, hey, we see this resident leaving, their term is up in 3 months. Start contacting them now, and there's a process to drive their lifetime value. Am I getting that wrong?
No, it's pretty accurate. I think it's about, we provide the technology, so we make sure to create a open API that people can interact with. We don't believe in a one size fits all, so it's more like trying to give or provide a set of tools that you can use. So it starts with data, first of all. Of course, we collect the data from the very first touch points to actually even before they move in, try to collect interest, try to collect what is it they're actually looking for, basically, in that stage of life. And then, of course, we try to keep the users updated, basically, with preferences. We try to nudge them to actually add more data so that the landlords, owners, operators can actually use that data to have smarter operations.
So is Hococo contacting directly the guest or the resident or the head in the bed, or are you just enabling the operator to have those processes in place?
Yeah, we're enabling the operator to have the process in place. We do collect additional data than you normally have in a traditional lease. You get your name, you get your contact details, etc. So we do collect an extra layer of data on each resident, basically, if they give that consent, of course, and that we can use in also outside of the let's say the actual tenancy period or whatever you want to call it. So basically it's a parallel track, but mainly the data is owned by the owners. Yeah.
Excellent. So the takeaway here is find your edge, understand how to communicate directly to 3 major constituents and make it easy for them to use. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is correct.
Well, that's an easy takeaway here at Urban Living Festival, where, make it easy, make it simple for the 3 constituents that, have other things to do, like fill the heads in the beds. More to follow. Stay tuned.